The young and the restless spoilers. The Abbott family. A storm brewing beneath the surface. The Abbott family of Genoa City has always been synonymous with success, prestige, and a seemingly unshakable legacy. Yet beneath their polished exterior, the undercurrents of rivalry and resentment simmer constantly. Just when they thought they could enjoy a rare moment of peace, the winds of change blow a familiar troublemaker back into their lives. Theo Vanderway, the black sheep of the Abbott family, is returning, and he's bringing chaos in his wake. Theo's return, a storm on the horizon. Theo Vanderway has never been the poster child of the Abbott family values. Though he carries the Abbott bloodline, his past has been a patchwork of poor decisions, impulsive behavior, and a knack for stirring the pot. After a stint in Paris that seemed to offer him a fresh start, Theo finds himself disillusioned. The city of light, with all its allure, couldn't hold his restless soul. He is drawn back to Genoa City, driven by an unshakable desire to claim what he believes is his rightful place in the Abbott legacy. Theo's return isn't merely a visit, it's a mission. He knows that Kyle Abbott, his cousin and longtime rival, is being groomed for the coveted role of CEO at Abbott Cosmetics, the crown jewel of the Abbott family empire. This knowledge fuels Theo's ambition. He refuses to stand on the sidelines while Kyle takes the reins of a company that Theo feels just as entitled to lead. His return marks the beginning of a power struggle that threatens to tear the Abbott family apart. Kyle and Theo, brothers in rivalry. Kyle Abbott and Theo Vanderway share more than a family name, they share a deep-seated rivalry that has festered for years. Despite their familial connection, the two cousins could not be more different. Kyle is the quintessential golden boy, the heir apparent whose loyalty to the family business has been unwavering. His charisma, sharp business acumen, and polished demeanor make him the ideal candidate to lead Abbott into its next chapter. Theo, on the other hand, is the family's wild card. His charm is laced with unpredictability, and his boldness often borders on recklessness. While Kyle has spent his life walking the carefully laid path of success, Theo has stumbled and fought his way through life, often creating his own opportunities through sheer force of will. This difference in approach has always placed them at odds, and Theo's return ignites their rivalry into a full-blown war. Their battle isn't limited to the boardroom. Theo has a knack for finding Kyle's weak spots and exploiting them with precision. One such weakness is Claire, the woman who has captured Kyle's heart. Enter Claire. The catalyst. Claire's arrival in Genoa City was like a breath of fresh air for Kyle. Smart, ambitious, and stunningly beautiful, she quickly became his confidant and the center of his world. For a time, it seemed Kyle had finally found the stability and support he needed to navigate the pressures of his impending role at Abbott. But Theo's return threatens to unravel it all. From the moment Theo meets Claire, sparks fly. He's drawn to her in a way that feels inevitable, and Claire, intrigued by Theo's raw charisma and unapologetic attitude, begins to question her feelings for Kyle. Theo knows exactly what he's doing. His pursuit of Claire isn't just about attraction, it's a calculated move to unsettle Kyle, to distract him at a time when focus is critical. Claire's internal conflict grows as she finds herself torn between two very different men. Kyle offers her stability, respect, and a shared vision for the future. Theo, however, represents excitement, danger, and the promise of something unpredictable. As her relationship with Theo deepens, the foundation of her bond with Kyle begins to crumble, leaving Kyle grappling with both personal and professional upheaval. The Abbott legacy at stake. Theo's calculated moves aren't just about personal vendettas, they're about carving out his place in the Abbott legacy. He believes that competition is the key to greatness and sees himself as the catalyst for Kyle's growth. Without a rival, Theo argues, Kyle will never reach his full potential. This philosophy puts the Abbott family in an uncomfortable position. While some see Theo's return as a threat to their carefully maintained order, others begin to recognize the value of his presence. Jack Abbott, the family patriarch, finds himself torn. On one hand, he wants to protect Kyle from Theo's machinations. On the other, he can't deny that Theo's challenges are forcing Kyle to rise to the occasion, demonstrating the grit and resilience needed to lead Abbott in an increasingly competitive market. A rivalry that defines the future. The battle between Kyle and Theo is about more than a position or a company, it's a clash of ideals, personalities, and visions for the Abbott family's future. As Theo continues to disrupt Kyle's life, both men are forced to confront their deepest insecurities and reevaluate their understanding of what it means to be an Abbott. For Kyle, Theo's presence is a painful reminder that nothing in life is guaranteed, not love, not power, and certainly not legacy. For Theo, Kyle represents the life he feels he was cheated out of, a life he is determined to claim no matter the cost. Their rivalry is as much about proving their worth to each other as it is about proving it to themselves. Conclusion: the price of legacy. The return of Theo Vanderway marks a turning point for the Abbott family. His presence disrupts the fragile balance they've worked so hard to maintain, forcing each member to confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty, ambition, and the sacrifices required to protect their legacy. As the battle between Kyle and Theo intensifies, one thing becomes clear: the Abbott family will never be the same. This storyline isn't just about drama, it's about growth. Theo's challenges push Kyle to become a stronger, more capable leader, while Theo himself begins to grapple with the consequences of his actions. In the end, their rivalry may prove to be the crucible that forges a new era for the Abbott family, a legacy built not on comfort and tradition, but on the strength to face adversity head-on. Theo Vanderway, the rival, returns to Genoa City in the sprawling saga of the Abbott family. Few characters have stirred the pot quite like Theo Vanderway. As the estranged, ambitious, and enigmatic nephew of Dina Murgeron, Theo's place within the Abbott dynasty has been contentious from the start. His rivalry with Kyle Abbott has been nothing short of legendary, with sparks flying every time they cross paths. While Jack Abbott may have thought Paris would keep Theo occupied and out of trouble, it seems the City of Light wasn't enough to quench Theo's thirst for more. And now, whispers of his return to Genoa City have begun to circulate. Are we ready for the storm he'll bring? I certainly am. Let's explore the journey that led Theo to this pivotal moment. Theo Vanderway, the outsider turned Abbott. Theo's introduction to the Abbott family wasn't just dramatic, it was explosive. When it was revealed that he was Dina Murgeron's grandson, confirmed by DNA testing, the family was thrown into turmoil. Theo's inclusion in the family wasn't met with open arms by all members. Kyle, his cousin and longtime rival, was particularly resistant to Theo's presence, viewing him as an interloper with questionable motives. Jack Abbott, ever the peacemaker, sought to integrate Theo into the family by giving him opportunities to prove himself. This included a transfer to Paris, where Theo was placed under the guidance of Ashley Abbott, Jack's sister and a powerhouse in her own right. Ashley saw potential in Theo and believed he could thrive away from the drama of Genoa City, overseeing projects tied to her successful cosmetics ventures in Europe. But Theo's time in Paris wasn't the fresh start Ashley had envisioned. For Theo, the city was stifling, a gilded cage that kept him far from the action, the intrigue, and the power plays he craved. Despite Ashley's mentorship and her belief in his abilities, Theo saw Paris as a sideline, not the spotlight. His restlessness grew, and with it, his desire to return to Genoa City, where his true ambitions lay. A clash of ambitions, Theo versus Kyle. At the heart of Theo's story is his rivalry with Kyle Abbott. These two men are cut from the same cloth in many ways, ambitious, driven, and deeply tied to their family's legacy. But their approaches couldn't be more different. While Kyle has always operated within the confines of Abbott tradition, Theo has made a career out of defying expectations. This rivalry has been the defining feature of Theo's relationship with the Abbott family. Kyle's ascension within Abbott has been a sore point for Theo, who feels just as entitled to a place in the family business. The Paris assignment was meant to give Theo a chance to shine on his own terms, but he sees it as a calculated move to keep him out of Kyle's way, a move orchestrated by those who see Kyle as the golden child of the Abbott dynasty. Theo's return to Genoa City isn't just about leaving Paris behind, it's about reclaiming his place in the family, on his terms. He's no longer content to play second fiddle to Kyle, and his ambitions have only grown sharper in his time away. Theo's comeback promises to reignite their rivalry, pushing both men to their limits. Ashley's influence, mentor or manipulator? Ashley Abbott has always been a formidable force, both within the family and in the business world. Her decision to take Theo under her wing in Paris was as much about opportunity as it was about strategy. She saw in Theo a chance to build a new legacy, one that didn't revolve around Kyle or the traditional Abbott hierarchy. But Ashley's plans for Theo don't align with his own vision. She wants him to lead her ventures in Europe, to carve out a distinct space for himself away from the shadow of Abbott and the family's drama. Theo, however, sees this as a distraction from his ultimate goal, a seat at the table in Genoa City. Ashley's role in Theo's journey is complex. On one hand, she's his advocate, the only Abbott who consistently believes in his potential. On the other, her insistence on keeping him in Paris could be seen as an attempt to sideline him, much like Jack and Kyle have done. Theo's decision to defy Ashley's wishes and return to Genoa City sets up a potential conflict between the two, adding another layer of tension to his already fraught relationships within the family. Theo's return, a game-changer for the Abbott family. Theo Vanderway's return to Genoa City is more than just a personal decision, it's a power move. By coming back, he's throwing down the gauntlet, challenging the family to recognize his worth and his place in their legacy. His return will undoubtedly shake up the dynamics at Abbott, forcing Kyle to defend his position as heir apparent while grappling with the resurgence of their personal rivalry. For the Abbott family as a whole, Theo's return is both a threat and an opportunity. His presence has always been a catalyst for change, forcing the family to confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty, inclusion, and the cost of legacy. His determination to succeed, no matter the odds, is a reminder that the Abbott name is as much about resilience as it is about tradition. Looking ahead, what's next for Theo Vanderway? As Theo prepares to re-enter the fray, the question isn't just whether Genoa City is ready for him, it's whether he's ready for what's waiting. Kyle, emboldened by his recent successes, won't back down from the fight. Jack, ever the diplomat, will be forced to mediate a family feud that threatens to spiral out of control. And Ashley, disappointed but perhaps understanding, will have to decide whether to support Theo's decision or let him face the consequences on his own. Theo's story is one of ambition, rivalry, and the pursuit of identity within a family that has never fully embraced him. His return promises to be a turning point, not just for himself, but for everyone connected to the Abbott legacy. Theo Vanderway, a character worth rooting for. There's something undeniably magnetic about Theo Vanderway. He's flawed, ambitious, and often reckless, but he's also deeply human. His struggles resonate because they're universal: the desire to belong, the drive to prove oneself, and the courage to defy expectations. As we await Theo's return, one thing is clear: his story is far from over. And for those of us who have been captivated by his journey, his comeback promises to be nothing short of thrilling. So yes, I'm eagerly awaiting Theo Vanderway's return. Are you?